and welcome to the match day preview for Leeds United versus Luton Town back at Ellen Road after a successful win at the weekend for Leeds and looking to add to what is now starting to look like a very impressive home record for Leeds at Ellen Road. Luton Town have to come on the road. They've not been great on the road, but we'll get into that. This is the match day preview, but it will look a little bit probably similar to the warm-up. Given the way the games are falling this week, we're going to do the warm-up style preview. So we will get into the comments as well. There's a few people floating around. We will get to the comments in due course. And we'll try and go through the form guide from both sides leading into this game, the key form as well, which will be Leeds' home form versus Luton Town's away form in this game. We'll also look at the goal perspective, how the sides have been faced in front of goal and defending goal over the course of the season so far, as well as team news for both Leeds United and Luton Town, the head-to-head record for both these sides against each other, and then the key players just to keep an eye out for, as well as the key statistics leading into this game. And on a night where Leeds will know exactly what they need to do come tomorrow morning, with their rivals very much in action tonight, all three of them, and someone's definitely due to drop points, and we'll cover that over the course of the game. I'd love to know your score predictions for this game, what you think the team lineup would look like, and also what you want to see from this game. What's the one thing that you want to see come out of this? We had a very exciting game the other night. Personally, I love exciting football. I enjoyed it. I didn't pick my phone up once during that game, and I love watching that kind of football. Interesting to see. Just some people seem to want to go back to 1 and 2 nils. And I'm okay with 1 and 2 nils, as long as they're a little bit more exciting for me. So, Top Bananas in the house. Appreciate it. How you doing, mate? Led Zepp is here. Good evening. Thirsty Pad is here. Good evening. And Danny is in the house as well, going for a 3-0 win to Leeds, as is Thirsty Pad as well. So we'll crack on and we'll get into this. We'll dip in and out of the comments. So if you don't see comments up on screen for a bit, don't worry. It's not pre-recorded. It's actually live. And just a heads up as well, I'm over on Only Leeds Bros on YouTube as well at 8 o'clock for their preview ahead of the game. If you want some conversation, a bit more of a relaxed approach to things, you can go check out them from 8 o'clock as well. The link to them is down below. In the prediction, Smarty from Only Know Better in the chat as well. How are you doing, Smarty? 2-0 to Leeds. This potentially could be a result of the kick on the season. Yeah, it could also do the same for Luton Town. We're looking for back-to-back wins for the first time this year, but you would hope the Leeds would have enough. Gavin's going for a 4-0 win. Even Simon, up your well, and Led Zepp is going for a steady 2-0 win for me. Yeah, the nils are there. The defensive record's been really good for Leeds this season, but we've got a few fancy slides to get to, so we'll get them up on the screen, and we'll get cracking on with this today. And there's a lot to get into. There's some really interesting pieces just to keep an eye on in tomorrow night's game. We'll start off with where we are going into this game. We look at the league table so far, and Leeds top of the table. Yes, they are the best side in the league after 19 games so far this year, in a good position. Goals for are good, and in the last 5 games, 3 wins for Leeds, 1 defeat and 1 draw. And then again, you hope, as Smarty has said, when you get into the next couple of games and the run that Leeds have potentially ahead of them, Leeds could really start to make those red dots fall off and be replaced with nice solid green ones. But Leeds have had their second set of back-to-back wins so far this season, the first since the previous one, and are looking for their first 3 winning game in a row streak for the first time this season. As I said, 1 draw, 1 loss for Leeds so far this season. From a Luton Town perspective, not the season that they were hoping for. Talk of a hangover and a reset happening at the club up there this week, sitting 16th in the table. Only 2 wins in their last 5 games, 2 defeats and a draw there as well. When you look at how Luton have done against our promotion rivals, they played Sheffield United earlier on the season. They lost 2-0 away to them. They lost 2-1 at home to Sunderland, and they drew 1-0 at West Brom, what West Brom are doing this season. Their last win came against Hull City in their last game out, but then I think everyone's had a crack at beating Hull so far this season. They're not even showing up on that smaller version of the league table that's on screen right now. But the key form coming into this game is what will be really, really important, and that's what we want to have a look at. Leeds' home form versus Luton Town's away form. Leeds' home form joint top of the table, along with some of our promotion rivals in Sunderland and Sheffield United, pretty close to each other there as well. Luton Town not so good on the away form bracket, but Leeds, as I said, sitting top of the home form. 5 wins at home in our last 5 league games, and scored 17 goals in that period of time as well, only conceding 5 goals in 8 games. So that's pretty decent for Leeds. 3 of those goals and those concessions came in the first game of the season. We remember that one. But from a Luton Town perspective, sitting down, way down in the away table, 20th in the away league table, scoring 5 goals and conceding a massive 14 during the first 8 away games of the season for them. So it's not been great. Their last away win came on the 19th of October, which was a 3-0 win away at Watford. From a goals scored perspective, Leeds doing pretty well in this so far overall this season. We go back and take a look at the full league table. Leeds have scored 28 goals and conceded 16 in the opening 16 matches, almost a goal, 2 goals per game for Leeds so far. And from a Luton Town perspective, 18 goals scored in their first 16 games. They've conceded a massive 26 goals so far for them. But as I say, there has been talk all week of a reset happening at Luton Town, and they've had a discussion around what's been going on, and are looking at sorting out their problems heading into this game. And it's going to be really interesting. As we said, we talked a lot about what Leeds need to do in the last couple of weeks coming into this game. We're looking at a run of 4 or 5 games, which on paper Leeds could win all of them. Fortunately, that's probably unlikely to be the case. And if any time there was going to be a slippery game, Luton Town could be a lot trickier than people maybe think it is. Outside of what they've done this season, they've been in most of their games. They're still very much of a lot of Premier League players. They've lost a couple, but they kept the bulk of the players that they had last season. So it still won't be a poor side, and depending on how Leeds approach that game could have a huge factor. What their reset looks like, they beat Hull straight after the international break, and they've talked at length about sitting down and talking about the culture inside the club being what was wrong versus the pressure outside of the club, and trying to align those two. So it's going to be really, really interesting from that perspective. We'll jump into the comments real quick because we are live. So, I suppose you try and make it look live. Top Banana's going for 4-0 win. Sean, good evening. You're looking for a 2-0 win. Byron Aronson and put in Vober and Villy. So swap those two around. 2-0 win coming from Paddy. And your score predictions floating around. We don't. Loads of other people in the chat. We'll move on to team news going into the game. And I think I've already said what Leeds need to do. But Daniel Farke did speak during the week in his press conference about potentially rotating the squad. And he did talk about the wingers as well, saying that none of the wingers would finish 90 minutes in all 3 of the games. So there will be some changes coming into the game. Leeds, from a winger's perspective, that's going to be the big question mark. Does Farke rotate them in this game, or does he wait till the next game? But there could be some changes there. Sam Byram will be a late review before the game. Question marks around whether Sam Byram can play more than 2 games in 1 week for Leeds United. The interesting piece there is they could try and play Byram in this game, and then they'd have Junior Firpo back at the weekend to come back in at left back. If they don't play Sam Byram, there's another player that maybe goes in there. We'll have to talk about him in a few minutes because Isaac Schmidt will miss this game. He's still a week out after his hernia operation. And Junior Firpo, as I said, still suspended for this match, is available once we get back into the weekend. Eugene is going for a 2-0 win for Leeds. Top Bananas reckons unbeaten till Christmas, which is very, very nice. 3-1 from Cal Fandango coming all the way from Monroe, New Hampshire. Good evening, hope you're well. A massive thank you to Free Falling for the super chat. We'll get into the team news for Luton Town. They've got 2 things just to keep an eye out for. Shandon Baptiste, is out of this game, as is Alfie Doherty. They're both out of this game, but they've got some players coming back in that Leeds will need to keep an eye on as well. This is not a weak looking Luton Town squad, and they will have a go at Leeds. They do like to play attacking football. That could play into our hands, or it could be exactly what we don't want to happen coming into this game. Nigel is going for a 1-1 draw. It's possible. I think if there's ever a game where we could possibly drop points, I think this and Blackburn are the 2. Maybe Middlesbrough as well are the ones that just to keep an eye on. South Stand 83 going for 3-0 Leeds win. Leon Kirk is going for 3-1 Leeds win. And Jacko wants over on the left. We'll talk about him in a minute. Andy says 5-1 to Leeds. Wouldn't you love to see it, Andy? Wouldn't you just love to see Leeds just go and thonk somebody? And Dormston Cook says 3-1 to Leeds United. Head-to-head record for these sides is interesting looking as well. Leeds have had the better of things over the past couple of years, and since they've met each other back in 2016, they've had 3 meetings, 2 wins going the way of Leeds United, and 1 draw in that time. And that was the last time the 2 sides met back in 2020, was that 1-1 draw at Elland Road. So they've got some form around results there. But when you look at the totality of both sides side by side, Leeds on the left, 16 games played, 28 goals scored, only 12 conceded with 21 assists. And from a Luton Town perspective, 16 games played, 18 goals scored, 26 conceded, which is huge, double the amount the Leeds have conceded so far, and 13 assists for them. The head-to-head record, as I said, it makes interesting viewing. There's not been massive amounts between these 2 teams when they have played. Sure, the odd goal has been what's won it in the last 3 games, and you want a slightly more comfortable win for Leeds in this game. Along the lines, more 2-0 wins. Pierre saying 2-0, Jacko saying 3-1, and Paul Brennan going for 4-0 Leeds win. but I think it could be a lot tighter than we possibly think this might be in the end of things. And then having a look at what the promotion rivals will be up to. They all play tonight, so Leeds will know exactly what we need to do coming out of these games tonight and heading into tomorrow. Burnley at home to Coventry. A rekindled Coventry, a Coventry side that Chris Wilder wasn't overly happy with, saying that they've overplayed in that game against Sheffield United, and if they played like that in other games, Mark Roberts would still have a job. Very Chris Wildery type of comment to make. Sheffield United are home to Oxford. They've done okay this year. Oxford surprise package in the Championship probably so far, but you would imagine a home win for Sheffield United. And Sunderland will play West Brom, and someone will drop points in that game that will benefit Leeds. And I think the ideal result from a Leeds United perspective would be a draw in that match with both sides dropping points, assuming then Leeds can get a win. But Leeds could drop out of the top spots tonight if Sheffield United can get a result against Oxford temporarily in the meet at least. Hopefully the results go our way tonight and Leeds can go out and extend the lead to an actual points gap rather than just those goal differences that are there. From a big player perspective, we talked about it briefly already, but Tanaka will be a massively important player for Leeds United as he's continued to impress and to another man match award during the week by Sky Sports. Dan James got the official Leeds United one, but Tanaka very much in the conversation around everything good that Leeds did last week, pulling the strings, or the conductor as he has been nicknamed and rightfully given that name as well. Dan James massively important for how Leeds play, especially against sides where there is space. Luton Town, as I said, likely to be a club that will come and have a go at Leeds United, which will leave space that you hope Leeds will capitalise with Dan James. 3 assists, and I'm giving him the own goal assist because it was all of his work. Had that ball not gone in, the OG never happened. So Dan James being massively important again for Leeds. More so again, as I say, because of the space that could be in the pitch. And Jayden Bogle on that side as well. A really good partnership when the two of them have been playing together, has been building, and Jayden Bogle has been very important to Leeds from an attacking perspective. Still needs to probably do a little bit more from a defensive perspective, but I don't think you could pick him out for any of the mistakes for the goals that Leeds conceded against Swansea. And Manor Solomon may or may not play in this game, but 2 goals in his last outing. People saying, if you remove his goals from the game, what else does he do? I think you got the same conversation around every striker in world football. If you take the goals away, you're not talking about what the player brings to that, and that's goals and assists from attacking players. So he was in the right place, the right time to convert him. If he wasn't there, no guarantee somebody else would have been. So doing his job, but I think that they might just rest him coming into this game just with the amount of games he played recently and coming back from that injury that he had as well. So yeah, from a lineup perspective, and then very much me guessing the lineup, I think there could be 2 potential, maybe 3 changes in this one. From a goalkeeping perspective, Meslier stays in goal. And then from a backline perspective, I think Jayden Bogle will start on the right. Max Verber could come in at left back, and that will be a major discussion point for Daniel Farke and Leeds around this game. Do they try and get one more game out of Sam Byram before Junior Firpo comes back and goes straight back into the team? Or has Max Verber shown Daniel Farke enough in the cameo that he had during the week, as well as the 90 minutes he played for Austria, to get a start in this game and find his way back into the Leeds starting 11? Centre-back pairing of Joe Rowe and Pascal Struck have been fantastic for Leeds so far this season. A bit shaky last time out defensively. Going forward, both of them brilliant. Defensively, need to be a bit tired to their men. The third goal comes for me basically because Joe Rowland doesn't cut the ball out going into the player, and Pascal Struck doesn't do enough behind the player to put him off, and it's an easy goal for them, so they need to sort that one out. From a centre midfield perspective, you could see changes here. Joshua Gilavogi could very easily come in for Joe Rothwell if Daniel Farke has been a little bit spooked by conceding 3 goals again. He may go slightly more defensive, so you may see maybe Tanaka along with Joshua Gilavogi, with Tanaka being the more advanced of those 2 players. But personally, I would stick with Rothwell, spells badly there. And then the wide players, I think Dan James and Willie Gnonto to start this game, taking Solomon out for a little bit of a rest, and Brendan Aronson the 10 because Leeds have no other real options. But it would be interesting to see Daniel Farke go with his front 3 of James, Gnonto, and Solomon, which would be very interesting. And Willie Gnonto in the number 10 position, which I personally would love to see an awful lot more of. And then for me, again, I think there'd be space in this game. I would go for Mateo Joseph in this one from the start. When Joel Peru starts, you've got to give him supply. So if we're not giving him supply, I won't criticize the player from a striking perspective. Mateo Joseph will give us a little bit more, and we will see some likely changes on the bench as well. So you could see, as I said, Solomon and drop there, Gilavogi come off that. There's options there. You could change them around. But for me, I think that's likely to be what he's going to go for. No Bamford on the bench. Probably take Chambers out, put Bamford in there instead, Leon. So yeah, I did miss that one. But Arthur is going for 5-2 win for Leeds. There was a couple of other score lines there. Jacko said 3-1. I think I've already said that. And Paul with 4-0. Yeah. Joseph starting Nigel for me. Yeah, I would in this game just because of a work rate perspective. I think yeah, I think he just gives Leeds probably more of what they need in this kind of game when there will be a bit more space to play in. I think it would benefit him to start in this game. And yeah, Bamford is on the bench. Saying Bamford's not on the bench. He's in the team. He's on the bench. He's not starting games. He's not ready to start games. I wouldn't start him right now. I do think he'll have a part to play in the next couple of weeks, though, when we get into the Christmas period. But I think right now he's probably third choice for a reason. So I would leave it there. With that one, it's a big game for Leeds in terms of just trying to get another win on the board, another win at home, keep that home record going and get the momentum growing heading into the weekend as well, and try to get as many wins behind our belt as we can before we get into the overly congested period around Christmas. And we'll have to see where Leeds go from that perspective. Paul saying Matty Joseph will wear the haters down. I really don't get the hate. Hate's the wrong word. The criticism of either of our two strikers. They're very different strikers. They give us very different things. And Joel Pirro, we know we have to create chances for him if he's starting. If he were not creating chances, you can't really blame him for not finishing because he's not getting his chances. Mateo Joseph offers a lot more for Leeds in terms of build-up, but you'd like to see him in the box more often. And again, Leeds supplying those near post crosses. Ironically, the kind of balls that Leeds are putting in against Swansea, Mateo Joseph at the front post would likely snap up. So yeah, look, there's plenty of time for Mateo Joseph. I think they've both got something to offer in different moments in the game. And you've probably got Pat Bam from the bench as well. There's talk about Leeds looking at number 9 in January as well. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. But it's interesting to see how we'll get on, folks. It'll be, as I said, it won't be a straightforward game. I hope it is. I hope Leeds go out and absolutely trash them. I personally am going to go for 3-1 win for Leeds in this one. I think we will probably concede because they've got decent attacking players. And if we're going to go and have a go at them, probably concede something on a break, and I'm okay with that as long as Leeds can go and do the business in front of goal. But give us a bit more of a margin this time around than did against Swansea. But that'll be it for me today, folks. Massive thanks as always for dropping in for the match review. Over on Only Leeds Bros at 8 o'clock. If you want a more detailed conversation around things, you can check them out as well. Real quick one on the score predictions. Kurt saying a 2-0 win in the bones. A standard Leeds United 2-0 win, I would say as well. So, look, massive thanks, as I said, folks, for joining me tonight. And you can check out today's news on the channel as well. And I'll see you later on over on Only Leeds Bros if you're there. And if not, I'm back in the morning for Leeds news and be ready for the Luton Town game. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Talk to you soon. See ya.